Samsung has surprised us by launching another A70 series phone, the A71, which comes just 4.5 months after the launch of the A70s. Let's unbox it and find out what it brings to the table, and let's see whether it's worth considering despite heavy competition in the 25 to 30k price segment. Before we start, a bit of advice. I know most of you would agree that YouTube has been a boon in our lives. It has literally changed the way we get entertainment and knowledge. But we should also agree that it may not be the best place for kids. YouTube exposes them to certain types of content which may pose a threat to them in multiple ways, like involvement in violence, suicide, drugs, and so on. Thankfully, our sponsor Wondershare has an app called FamiSafe to tackle this situation. The setup is easy, and when it's done, you can monitor your child's activities on their phone. You can view the list of videos they have watched, you can block a particular video or even block the entire channel. On the iOS app, it can detect inappropriate video titles, comments, and so on. Yes, it's available on both iOS and Android. So do check out FamiSafe, link can be found in the description. Let's first get the boring part out of the way. The unboxing. We've got the phone, a 25 watts fast charger, a Type-C cable, and a pair of Type-C earphones. We've also got a SIM ejector pin, a thin transparent silicone case, and some documentation which shows the SAR value. The A71 might look quite similar to the A70s on the outside, but Samsung has actually put in a lot of effort to make things better. The attention to detail here is great. For example, the display size and the quality are pretty much the same as what we saw with the A70s. It's a 6.7-inch Full HD Plus display, 20:9 aspect ratio, Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection, but there are actually two upgrades worth talking about. Number one, the A71 now has an Infinity O screen, basically a punch hole selfie camera instead of a dewdrop notch. Not a huge upgrade, but definitely a step in the right direction. And number two, Samsung has also upgraded the panel to Super AMOLED Plus, which is thinner and lighter than the regular Super AMOLED panel. Now, this is evident in the fact that the phone is also thinner and lighter than the A70s. Now, smartphone tech might be at its peak in 2020, but unfortunately, this is also a time when brands have stopped caring about the size, the weight, and the thickness of phones. On that front, we need to appreciate Samsung. The A71 is only 7.7mm thick and weighs just 179 grams. Now, before this, I was using the Poco X2 for about a month. That one has a slightly smaller display, the same battery capacity, but weighs 208 grams. Of course, part of the reason is the A71 has a plastic back and a plastic frame, which is quite disappointing to be honest at this price point. But yeah, there is nothing wrong with how it looks or feels. It's quite premium looking, kind of reminds me of the Galaxy S20 and the S10 Lite. It's not very flashy or fancy, looks solid, looks good. And yeah, it can also stream movies and TV shows in full HD resolution on OTT apps like Netflix and Amazon Prime Video. And we've also got a fingerprint scanner inside the screen. This is one area where Samsung has been struggling a bit. The scanner on the A71 is noticeably faster, but still not as fast as the competition. A more noticeable or obvious upgrade would be the chip. The Galaxy A71 comes with the Snapdragon 730 chip, which is quite a big upgrade from the 675 chip on the A70s. We've seen the 730 and 730G on multiple handsets before, including the Redmi K20 and the Poco X2. We know how well it performs, be it for basic tasks like browsing and checking out social media feed or gaming. This thing offers a really good experience. This is the maximum supported graphics on PUBG. Even at this setting, the gameplay is pretty good. It has 8GB RAM and 128GB storage, and that's the only variant. In case you want more storage, there is a dedicated micro SD card slot which lets you expand the storage up to 512GB. There is a 4000 mAh battery as well, which Samsung claims is good enough for 24 hours video playback, probably at medium or low brightness. Note that the 730 chip is more efficient than the 675 chip, so there will be less stress on the battery. And there is support for 25 watts fast charging as well, same as the A70s. When it comes to camera performance, the main camera hasn't been upgraded. It's the same 64 megapixel f1.8 camera, but the ultra-wide camera now has 12 megapixels instead of 8. And there is a brand new 5 megapixel macro camera for those ultimate close-up shots. Samsung has also done a lot on the software side of things, which I feel is more important. Watch this video if you're interested in learning more about why software is more important than hardware right now for getting good pictures. Samsung's HDR algorithm is excellent. Just point and shoot and you'll get amazing pictures even when you're using the ultra-wide camera. We now have night mode for the ultra-wide camera, 4K video recording on both rear and front cameras, which is a big deal. Samsung has worked a lot on the selfie camera on the A71. It's 32 megapixels and it also has a 120 FPS slow motion mode. Remember Apple's slow fees? Well, it's not just Apple's anymore. The A71 supports the full version of Samsung Pay, so you can just leave all your credit and debit cards at home. You can pay by just tapping your phone on the card machine, which is actually much safer than using contactless credit or debit cards. And then Samsung has introduced these cool features which they call Alive Intelligence features. They've been made specifically for us Indians. One of them is Smart Crop. It automatically crops the important part of the screenshot, which is actually quite useful in this age of memes, right? We've also got this new feature called Alive Search. It's a universal search bar which supports third-party apps as well. For example, you could literally search for butter chicken masala and it shows some results from Swiggy. Of course, you need to have Swiggy installed and you need to be logged in for this to happen. This is actually really cool. You can search for movies or TV shows, and if you have Netflix or Amazon Prime Video installed, then those movies and TV shows might show up. Now, these were introduced with Samsung's One UI 2.0, and that's what the A71 has. It's based on Android 10. I really like the subtle visual changes they've brought to the UI. I even mentioned this in the A51 unboxing video. Like the permissions pop-up now blends with the One UI design, and even functionally it's really good. Better grouping of options in settings, ability to use actions from the lock screen, not just apps. You can now turn on the flashlight like this. And it's also quite clean and fast and snappy. Trust me, it has come a long way from TouchWiz, and it's definitely become one of my favorite user interfaces in recent times. This is one department where most Chinese brands lose ground to Samsung. Now, all that being said, the price tag of 30,000 rupees does feel a bit too steep. If you're just looking for pure value for your money, obviously the Redmi K20 Pro and the Realme X2 Pro are better. But if you want Samsung for valid reasons, then I'd suggest you spend 8 or 10,000 rupees more and get the Note 10 Lite or the S10 Lite, because they offer truly great value for the money you spend. They even pose a huge threat to OnePlus. Here's a Galaxy S10 Lite versus OnePlus 7T full comparison video I did recently. Check it out. But if you do not have the budget for it and you still want the amazing user experience, great performance, faster software updates, the convenience of Samsung Pay, the superior after-sales service, then the A71 makes sense, even at 30,000 rupees. Anything else about the phone you want to know in specific, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye and take care.